John Gill. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. Reading first from the King James Bible, quote, "But as we were allowed of God to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but God, which trieth our hearts." Unquote. John Gill, quote, "But as we were allowed of God, or, quote, approved of God, unquote, not that there were any previous fitness or worthiness in them to be ministers of the word, but such as was to good will and pleasure of God, that he from all eternity chose and appointed them to this work, and in his own time by his grace called them to it, and by his gifts qualified them for it, who otherwise were unworthy of it, and insufficient for it, to be put in trust with the gospel, which is of great worth and value, a rich treasure, and of the last importancy, which to be trusted with is a very great honor, and the discharge of such a trust requires great faithfulness, and which the apostles had. Even so we speak, the gospel as delivered to them, both as to matter and manner, neither taking from it, nor adding to it, nor mixing with it anything of their own, nor disguising it with artifice, not as pleasing men, to gain favor and affection, esteem, applause, and honor from them, to escape reproach and persecution, and obtain worldly disadvantages by dropping, concealing, or blending the truths to make them more agreeable to the taste of natural men, but God, which trieth our hearts, studying to approve themselves to God, whose gospel was committed to them, from whom they received gifts to preach it, and to whom they were accountable for it, and who, being the searcher of the hearts and the triers of the reins of the children of men, know the intentions and designs of men, and the springs of all actions, and sees through all artifices, and from whom nothing can be hidden, and who will, in his own time, bring to light the hidden things of darkness, under the sense of with which faithful ministers act, as of sincerity, and as in the sight of an omniscient God." Unquote. Reading from the scripture, quote, "But as we were allowed of God to be put in trust with the gospel, even so to speak, not as pleasing men, but God, which trieth our hearts." Unquote. End of John Gill. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4.